Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on what looks like a lovely Sunday morning here in the UK, wherever you are watching the world. I hope you are well. As usual, just to start off this latest video, I just want to say thank you very much for your support, your continued support. It's great to see the subscriber count going up. To all you new subscribers out there, thank you very much for clicking that button. I hope you won't be disappointed by what you get, and for anyone new stumbling across this channel, then please do hit that like button, and I'll try and keep you as updated as I can with all things Arsenal throughout the season. Obviously the transfer window is now pretty much shut, but there is still a few little things bubbling away at Arsenal because the domestic window is still open until next Friday, so a few deals to be done perhaps between now and then, and I will talk to you about that at the start of this video, about what might happen in the next few days. Probably going to be more about outgoings than incomings, but I will talk to you about that, and then run through a little bit of other news, some team news, especially ahead of the Manchester City game next weekend. Big game that for Arsenal, big game for Man City as well. And talk a little bit about Mesut Ozil, because I get so many questions about Mesut Ozil's situation. I thought I'd try and just discuss really what's going on with Mesut, and why we've suddenly got to this situation that we're in. Unfortunately, it's a very hard one for me to answer categorically because it's such a mysterious situation, but we'll have a little chat about that as well. So let's start with transfers, shall we? Like I said, domestic window is open for Arsenal to do business with clubs in the lower leagues in England until the 16th, which is Friday. And I'm expecting Arsenal to do a little bit of business during these next few days, especially when it comes to outgoings. Now, William Saliba, I touched about it in the last video. We're expecting him to go out on loan before Friday. Arsenal are still going through the process that they do when it comes to loan players, and this one's one they're particularly taking their time over. They don't want to get anything wrong. They don't want to make a bad decision. They want to make sure if they do send him out on loan, they're going to send him to the right club, and that's the process they're in at the moment. While in discussions with Saliba and discussions with Saliba's agent, talking about exactly what the move should be here for Saliba and how his development is going to go over the next 6 months to a season. While out on loan. I touched on it in my last video. I'll just go through it again quickly about how that process will work. Arsenal probably whittle it down to about 3 interested clubs, and then they'll all come into London Colney this week. They'll sit down with Arsenal, with Ben Napper, the loan manager, with Saliba, with Saliba's agent, and they'll basically pitch, put their pitch forward about why they should be the club that Saliba goes to on loan. They'll talk about how they see him playing, what position they see him playing, what type of football they see him playing, how they can manage his development and make him a better player. And then at the end of that process, Arsenal will sit down with Saliba and with Saliba's agent, and they will make a final decision. It's almost like an apprentice style thing from the BBC programme, the way they do it with the interview sections. It's something Arsenal have done for a while now, certainly since Ben Napper has been appointed loan manager, and it's something they're very proud of, how they choose their loan clubs now. And quite a few have gone out this season, certainly with the under-23 team. It's been a notable sort of change of policy from Arsenal in terms of loaning players out, and basically there's a whole team of under-23 players out at the moment. We saw Iliev go out on loan, Bola as well in the last couple of days, so plenty of them gone out on loan, and I'm expecting Saliba to join them. We're not sure on the club yet. Brentford, I believe to be someone who's interested. Norwich's name has been bandied around as well, Watford, so we'll have to wait and see in terms of where he goes, but it'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on. Smith Rowe as well, obviously not played at all because of injury so far this season. Arsenal's, last I heard, Mikel Arteta wanted to keep Smith Rowe around for the first half of this season to work with him because he's a player that really excites him, that interests him. But I do wonder if the injury to Smith Rowe might have put him back a little bit in that regard, and Arsenal might wonder if it'd be better to send him out on loan certainly for the first half of the season, just to get his fitness up and get his game time up, because he's missed so much already. So that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on. We'll have to wait and see on Emile Smith Rowe. Callum Chambers as well is an interesting one. I don't think he'll go on loan, but he is back in full training now. Obviously he's been out for a year, and will Arsenal decide maybe it'd be better to try and get him some minutes outside of the club between now and December to try and get his fitness level up, or will they think it's probably better to protect him, ease him back in, and just use him in training and possibly in the Europa League group stages? So that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on as well in terms of what happens with Callum Chambers and what their final decision is. In terms of incomings, I'm getting a lot of questions from you, so I thought I'd just talk about this quickly. You're asking me, will Arsenal do any business any more business? Can they get someone in from the Championship, say a Buendia from Norwich? His name keeps popping up a lot of time. Ben Rama as well from Brentford. Could Arsenal do a deal with Saliba and the club that he goes to and get someone in return? And I can understand those questions, especially with Buendia. He's a really interesting player. Buendia, a player I really like. And I'm intrigued to see how he would get on at a Premier League club who has a lot more of the ball than when he was here with Norwich, obviously, last season. But I'm not expecting Arsenal to do anything in terms of incomings. And certainly with Buendia or Ben Rama, it looks like Ben Rama may well be off to West Ham anyway from Brentford in the next few days. So I wouldn't be too excited about any possible incomings from the lower leagues for Arsenal in the next few days. I'm just not really expecting it to happen. I think Arsenal's business has pretty much been done, and I would be surprised if they pull a rabbit out of the hat now this late in the domestic transfer windows. Right, should we talk about team news? Arsenal Man City coming up quickly on the horizon. Obviously, we've got to get through the, let's face it, boring international break. Still got a few more games to go with that one. England in action tonight. Hopefully see Saka maybe playing again, building on the debut he made against Wales on Thursday night, I think it was. But yeah, just looking further ahead to that game against Manchester City, let's talk about some Arsenal team news. Pretty good, actually, for Arsenal. Aubameyang obviously has been suffering with this ankle injury that stopped him linking up with Gabon over the international break. But my information, as I touched on in the last video, was that he's okay. He has been training. It was just a precaution why he didn't go with Gabon. So the skipper should be absolutely fine to play Manchester City. Socrates is now fully available and fit. Obviously, he's been left out of the Europa League squad, but the Premier League squad has not been picked yet. That goes in on October the 20th. So technically, for now, Socrates can still play in the Premier League. He is fit, he is available, but let's face it, he's probably not going to be involved. Kieran Tierney, this is a sad one for Arsenal. They haven't been able to make any breakthrough in regards of negotiations with Scotland, with the Scottish FA, with the Scottish Government, in terms of getting Kieran Tierney back down to London. He's still in Scotland, as far as I'm aware, and still having to serve that 2-week isolation. And so if that is still the case, then he's going to miss the game against Manchester City next weekend. Arsenal continue. They're still in talks with Tierney. They're still in talks with the FA and everyone in the powers that be to see if they can come to a satisfying conclusion for Arsenal's side of things. But you've got to understand when the Scottish situation on this, certainly with the Scottish Government, is they can't be seen to be looking to give preferential treatment to a star name, to a celebrity, to a footballer. If everyone else in Scotland has to isolate for 2 weeks, which is the law now, if they're in close contact with someone with COVID, then Kieran Tierney has to as well, and they can't be seen to make exceptions. And so that's the situation. That's why it's so difficult for Arsenal at the moment, and why it's looking like Kieran Tierney will miss Arsenal's game against Manchester City. It'll be interesting to see what Arteta does then. Does he bring David Luiz back into the centre, play Gabriel on the left, Rob Holding on the right? Does he stick with the 3-4-3, or will he change that formation straight away because of Thomas Partey's arrival and go with a flat back four? I'm not sure he'll do it straight away. I think it might be a gradual process over the next month, 2 months or so, in terms of transitioning away from the 3-4-3. Hard for me to say at this time in the morning, especially with the tough away games coming up. I think it might be a gradual process. So I wouldn't be surprised if we still see 3 at the back against Manchester City after the international break. And in terms of Manchester City team news, not great news for them. Still no Aguero by the looks of it for them. So Aguero won't be playing against Arsenal. We all know how much he loves scoring against Arsenal, especially away from home. No Gabriel Jesus as well. So it'll be interesting to see who they play. Will it be Sterling up front? Will he play in that sort of false 9 position? Or will they move De Bruyne further forward? We'll have to wait and see. But not great news for Manchester City in terms of their forward line against Arsenal. Certainly good news for Arsenal. I don't think any of us are going to complain if Aguero and Jesus miss out. And it looks like Zinchenko might well miss out as well for Manchester City. But in slightly better news for City, Gundogan and Juan Cancelo look like they could be back in contention after missing out so far this season. So a little bit of mixed bag, mixed news for Manchester City. But certainly no Aguero will be a big blow for them. Finally, for this video, quickly about Mesut Ozil. I get so many questions from you. I thought I'd try and at least talk about it, what's going on, but it's really hard because everything is being kept firmly in-house with Mesut Ozil. There is interest from Mesut Ozil. There has been interest in this summer about leaving, certainly from the Middle East. Clubs in Qatar and Saudi Arabia have been interested in Mesut Ozil, but it's not something that, as of yet, Ozil has decided to pursue, much to the frustration of Arsenal, because they would have obviously loved to have got him out. The deal was apparently pretty tempting one for Arsenal, good one for Arsenal as well. Obviously his wages would have been off the off the books, but that hasn't happened. Mesut Ozil has firmly said all along, I am not leaving. I am staying put until the end of my contract. So it looks like Mesut Ozil is going to be staying. Why he's been frozen out by Arteta, it's impossible for me to say because I just don't know, unfortunately, and no one else does. It's very much an in-house thing. But let's face it, it's time to move on from Mesut Ozil. He's not in the Europa League squad. He's not going to be in the Premier League squad. He's probably played his last game of football for Arsenal. So it's time to start moving on from Mesut. He's been great. We've all enjoyed him. Had better seasons, had worse seasons. But now it's just not going to happen for Mesut Ozil at Arsenal. So I think it's time we all moved on. He's not in the Europa League squad. He won't be in the Premier League squad. That will save Arsenal a little bit of money because it's going to certainly save them on bonuses and stuff because the whole 350 grand a week, you've got to factor in bonuses and appearance bonuses, things like that for Ozil. So the fact he's not going to be featuring in a lot of these games, it is going to save money, some money in the long run, not lots, but some, and that will all be beneficial as well in the situation that Arsenal find themselves in. So for all you Mesut Ozil fans out there, and I know there's lots of you, and I know you're disappointed that he's not involved, but I think we've just got to accept it and start moving on now. Get behind the team, support Arsenal. They made some big moves in the transfer market this summer. Thomas Partey is that cherry on the cake that we were all waiting for. It's exciting times for Arsenal under Arteta. I think it's just time to move Mesut into the background a little bit now and focus on things going forward because there's exciting things going on at Arsenal under Mikel Arteta. Unfortunately, Mesut Ozil is not part of that journey. That's about it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. Like I said at the start, please do hit the like button if this is new to you. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you for all your support as always. And thank you for my regular subscribers. I appreciate it. You can find me on Twitter at Charles_Watts. I'm on Facebook as well. And please do head over to goal.com for all your Arsenal news. Everything I write, everything that goes online, you can find it on my social media channels as well. But please do head over to goal.com, click on Arsenal, and you'll find it all there. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a wonderful Sunday. I will speak to you soon.